Fellas, this submachine gun just single-handedly revived the SMG meta in Destiny 2. It is unreal how good this SMG actually is. And when I think in the past of like SMGs that absolutely dominated, obviously Antiope comes up, but probably one of the SMGs that when I held it in my hands, I truly thought I never could lose. And that was actually pre-nerf Recluse. I'm here to tell you though, that this Trials of Osiris submachine gun, Shayura's Wrath, is even nastier than pre-nerf Recluse. Now, this is a 600 round per minute submachine gun present in the energy slot. It has a number of new traits just brought to us this season that we're going to go over. Simultaneously, though, it has some of the best base stats, most notably its base zoom of 17. Now, zoom is extremely important. You can have the godliest SMG, but if its zoom is just butt cheeks, well, then its range is going to suck. And that's something that Bungie's been doing a lot here lately when they bring us an SMG. They've kept that zoom low as to make sure that submachine guns stay in close quarter territory. However, Shayura breaks that, similar to how Antiope also broke it. While range testing this weapon, a well-rolled Shayura with good range, and I'm talking like 80 plus range, which by the way, this submachine gun could actually get even higher range as this is just the normal version. The Adept version in the future though could slot Adept mods, so things like Adept range or even Adept Icarus, but max range is definitely obtainable on this SMG. But testing range here at about 85 range and plus, we're talking 26 meters on Shayura. Put that in comparison, Antiope, even with SC Hollow, the static roll Antiope, that begins to experience damage fall off at around 25 meters. Now granted, I know there are other Antiope out there, other random rolls. You could stretch that range even further. Regardless though, the point I'm trying to make is that for the longest time, Bungie has avoided giving SMGs auto rifle range until Shayura. And even when we compared it here to multi-mac, and this is actually my god rolled multi-mac for range, as this one also comes with Iron Reach, which is not necessarily a good perk for a submachine gun as it kills your stability. Regardless though, this one actually experiences damage fall off at about 24 meters. So the point I'm trying to make is that Shayura here is absolutely nasty before we even get into rolls, which takes us to all the rolls we played with today. Now, I had a few rolls that I thought was pretty good. We played with it earlier on stream. I had a dynamic snapshot roll, good for accuracy, snappiness there with snapshot. I even had my very high range roll. And then we got lucky and landed this roll right here, Tunnel Vision, which states that reloading after defeating a target greatly increases target acquisition and aim down sight speed for a short duration. Everything on this roll looked perfect, but that final trait there is a little too situational for PvP, and that's Adrenaline Junkie. Grenade final blows grant bonus damage and handling for a moderate duration. Now, this is actually a good perk for PvE, especially for those that are rocking grenade-related builds. We tried to do it with Ash and Wake here inside of PvP, but essentially upon getting a grenade kill, this actually increases your damage by 10%. And if you get 2 kills with a grenade, it increases by 20%, and 3 kills increases it by 35%. A little harder to do inside of PvP, although Ash and Wake and its ability to reset and refresh your grenade on grenade kills makes this possible, but not necessarily optimal. Still a fantastic perk inside of PvE as the buff lasts for 10 seconds. But inside of Crucible, we like to go for something with a little more ease of use, which actually takes us to this roll right here. Big shout out to Comfy for having literally the best RNG. This roll came with Hammerforged Rifling, Accurazed Rounds, Tunnel Vision, which by the way, this is not a perk just for controller users. Tunnel Vision literally makes the gun feel like aimbot with that increase in target acquisition. It's quite nasty and very noticeable for both controller and mouse and keyboard players. And that final trait there is Kill Clip. Now, we pointed this out the other day in our overview video for all of the weapons for Season the Splicer. The reason why the perk synergy here is so perfect is because both Tunnel Vision and Kill Clip both proc on reload after a kill. That means there's no dead time. There's no moment between you getting a kill where you're having trouble taking advantage of both of these perks. Let me give you an example of perks that conflict with each other. Let's take Heating Up, for instance. Final blows with this weapon increases accuracy and stability while improving vertical recoil. A very nice perk. Fantastic for all weapons, but especially automatic weapons. But the problem is that this perk actually runs into issues with Kill Clip. Even though Heating Up lasts for a good duration, you lose some of that time while reloading to proc Kill Clip after a kill, which is why Tunnel Vision and Kill Clip together are so perfect, as you can proc both of those freshly together, lasting the entire duration. You've got one boosting that increase in target acquisition, while the other trait is throwing up our damage to 30 damage per crit, which by the way turns this SMG, which has a 0.8 0.8-second time to kill value to a 0.6 time to kill value. It's quite nasty, especially considering that precisions are also fairly forgiving. Overall, my experience with this SMG on Comfy's account was that I truly felt like I couldn't lose any 1v1. The flinch from SMGs, the dueling capabilities that these guns have, the fact that this weapon has a base zoom of 17 and a range that can reach up to 26 meters, maybe even more when we get the future adept version. Every single engagement, this weapon was popping off. Now, the biggest complaint I get about SMGs whenever people come by the stream, they go, oh man, I wish my SMG was that stable. And normally the comments are surrounding, of course, mouse and keyboard input being a lot more stable than controller. But if you remember last season, Bungie actually came out and buffed its stability for all SMGs for controller input players. I had played a little bit with SMGs on controller since that update, but this was the first time I really actually tried to test the range capabilities with the controller. And I can tell you right now, 26 meters was effective for both mouse and keyboard and controller. This is controller gameplay, by the way, absolutely shredding everything. And tunnel vision in combination with the improvements to SMGs on controllers, I felt like the weapon was aiming for me. Crits that I was landing that I know I had no business landing. Shots that I was literally shooting through walls at some points. We're still finding ways to make contact with my enemy and land me kills. This is not an SMG that's just good on mouse and keyboard, because that was the thing with Recluse back in the day, right? Like, it was all right for controller, but you really saw it get nasty for mouse and keyboard. This is an SMG that's good for both inputs. Now, looking at the god rolls for this weapon, I do believe that tunnel vision and kill clip is definitely the way to go, hands down. However, if you can live without tunnel vision and you really just want to get stupid with the range, killing wind is always a great combination, especially in things like Rumble. And you can even pair things like killing wind and tap the trigger together. And tap the trigger for the longest time was one of my favorite perks on an SMG. And I even mentioned the other day of the combination of tap the trigger and dynamic sway together. Dynamic sway, which improves the accuracy and stability while you hold down the trigger, and then tap the trigger, which gives you the upfront accuracy and stability on the initial trigger pull. You can definitely go those routes. Although I will say that this weapon has 95 recoil direction all on its own, and it's a precision frame, meaning this weapon is vertical enough. That's kind of like one of the main benefits of dynamic sways. Yes, the stability is nice as well as the accuracy, but the weapon literally becomes more vertical. It's great on weapons that have terrible vertical recoil, as it can make up for that lack of recoil direction. I don't feel that this perk is necessary on Shayura. I would much rather take advantage of something like killing wind or even dynamic sway reduction. As far as heating up goes, really this perk is fine if there was a damage dealing perk in that column like Swashbuckler or Rampage. Something that allows me to just lay on that trigger, get that increase in accuracy and stability with every final blow, while Rampage is constantly shredding targets. Maybe you can utilize that inside of PvE a little more, and perhaps even pair heating up with Adrenaline Junkie. However, for me, the god roll I'm going to be looking for is still going to be tunnel vision and kill clip together. It's just that good, guys. So fellas, grind out for Shayura this weekend. It is the 3-win reward. Do the bounty. I believe you can get it done, and I can promise you this SMG will reward you. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.